Okay, so yesterday we understood how to create a data frame, basic data frame, okay, uh, based on the local objects, right? So you can create a data frame on top of the list object, or you can create a data frame on top of the dictionary object as well. And one more thing, one more scenario also we have seen, we can read the data with the help of pandas data frames. Am I audible? Yeah, okay. So we can read the data with the help of pandas data frames, and we can convert that pandas data frames also into Spark data frame. That is what we have seen, right? Okay. So I told you like there are different approaches are there to create the this one, right? Data frame, right? So we have seen local objects and we have seen the RDDs as well. Now today we'll try to understand about the external data sources. So next 2 to 3 days I'm going to discuss about this one only. Okay. Yeah. So let me get on to that one. Okay. Just a second. Where is my pen? Oh, okay. Just a second, guys. I'll just bring up the whiteboard here. Now tell me, why do we use the Spark actually? What is the main intention or purpose of the Spark? What is the main intention or purpose of the Spark?
Fast execution.
Fast
Fast execution. I mean, fast execution is okay, but what is the main
transformation.
purpose?
Transform.
Mainly for the processing or transformations. Okay. So, um, when I say external data sources, when I say external data sources, Spark can read the data from what are all the data sources. That's what we need to understand actually. One second, something is happening. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So Spark can read the data from the CSV. Spark can read the data from the, I can say JSON. Spark can read the data from the XML. Spark can read the data from the Parquet, short form I'm writing here. Okay. So Spark can read the data from the ORC file. Spark can read the data from the Avro file. Spark can read the data from the Snowflake. Snowflake. Spark can read the data from the traditional databases as well. Provided drivers should be available. Okay, so I'm writing it as a JDBC. Okay, JDBC connection. Okay, Spark can read the data from the like some of the external data sources like MySQL. JDBC comes under the same thing only. Okay, but I'm writing it separately. That's okay, fine. Okay, Spark can read the data from the Delta file as well. Okay, so these are all the different formats we have, file formats we have. It can read the data from all these files. All Snowflake is not a file, of course. Snowflake comes under database. Okay. Now, here I can say Spark can be used as ETL tool, I can say. That means Spark can read the data from all these sources, and perform the transformations on top of the data. Okay, so how we are doing the transformations in RDD? Okay, RDD equal to SC dot parallels of we are reading some data, right? On top of that one, RDD1 equal to RDD dot map of something we are doing. RDD2 equal to RDD1 dot filter of we are doing. So in the same way, first we'll create the basic data frame. Okay, basic data frame equal to spark dot read dot CSV command is there. I'll talk about that one in some time. Okay, so spark.read dot command is there. So with that, we have to read the data from all these files, any one of the file, of course. Okay. So on top of that one, after that, we need to perform the transformations. So for that one, df1 equal to df dot. Let's say you wanted to filter some records. Okay, you can filter that. Now dft equal to, so df1 dot df dot, this is df dot only. Okay. So df1 dot perform some operation. Like that, we perform some transformations on top of the existing data. And finally, okay, let's say we'll create number of data frames like this. And final data frame, what I'll do is, so final underscore df equal to, what I will do is, sorry, dot. Okay, dot. What I will do is I'll just write it to some target. So target can be anything here. Target can be CSV file, target can be JSON file, target can be XML, target can be Parquet, target can be ORC, target can be Avro, target can be Snowflake as well, target can be any of the database as well, target can be Delta Lake as well, or Delta tables as well. Okay, I'm going to talk about the Delta tables also. That is the new concept in Databricks, I can say. It's a purely Databricks concept. Of course, this is the open source. Everybody started using that one. Okay, so spark dot read dot some target will write it. Okay, now it is reading the data from these sources and it is performing the transformations on top of that one, and we are writing the data to the target. Now Spark is acting as indirectly ETL tool or not? Not directly. See, but see, when I say ETL tool, don't ask me, hey Siva, where is the drag and drop option here? No, we don't have such kind of thing actually. Programmatically, we have to do all these things. That's it. So how we have in Informatica drag and drop, how we have in ODA drag and drop, how we have in like SnapLogic drag and drop concept, we don't have such kind of things here. Okay, so um, we have to read the data. We have to do everything programmatically. That's what I wanted to say here. Okay, now let me move on to the read command, Spark read command. Now you guys understood, right? Like what are we going to do with the Spark? Hope you guys understood.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Now, let me explain about the read command, Spark read command. Okay. So, guys, whatever the file format that I've written in the previous slide. Okay. So, what we do is, if at all, if you want to read the data from any one of the file, what we do is, we have some standard commands, guys. I'm going to talk about that one. So, standard commands is the one I've discussed yesterday, 40 to 50, right? Though, we are not discussing about those commands. For reading and for writing, we have a standard formula, standard command that I'm going to discuss today. Okay. So if at all, if you want to read the data from any of the file. So for that, we need to create a data frame out of it. Okay. So data frame equal to, you can write whatever you want here, guys. But in general, we write df equal to, df is nothing but data frame short form. Okay. Df equal to Spark dot, I told you already, Spark SQL is inbuilt of the Spark object. That is the reason why we always use Spark dot in Spark SQL. Okay. Spark dot. So since we are reading the data from the CSV, Spark dot read dot. Okay. So what we need to do is format of, you can write whatever the format you want. Okay. Let's say you're reading the data from the CSV, right? You write CSV here. Let's say you're reading the data from the JSON, right? You simply write JSON here. Let's say you're reading the data from the XML, right? You write the XML. Let's say you're writing the data from the Snowflake, right? You write Snowflake here. Let's say you're writing the data from the JDBC, right? Some databases, you simply write the JDBC here. See, whatever the source it is, you need to write it. Okay. Dot load of, if it is a CSV file or JSON file or XML file, right? We simply mention the path. Okay, I'm writing it down again here. One second, one second, one second. One second, yes. Alright. Ah. So we just need to write actually path of the file. Path of the file. Close. If it is a Snowflake, of course, we need to mention actually load of table. The table name we need to mention. If it is a JDBC, we need to mention that particular table name. Okay, JDBC, the structure is little different. I'm going to discuss that one as well. Okay. This is the standard formula, guys, actually. If at all, if you want to read the data from any of the file. If it is Parquet, if it is Avro, if it is ORC, irrespective of all the file formats, this command is common. Okay. Or what we can do is we can also write the same command in different way. Okay. What we can do is, so you can write like this also, df equal to spark dot read dot. If you're reading the CSV file, directly we can use the CSV API here. CSV of that path we can mention, CSV file path we need to mention, comma, some options are there. That options we need to mention. I'm going to talk about that options, some of the options which we regularly use, right? So that options I'm going to talk today. That options we need to write here are properties, file properties we need to write. Either, I mean, if you're reading CSV, if you're reading JSON, spark.read.json. If you're reading like JDBC, spark.read.jdbc of that particular path. Okay, for Snowflake, we have directly only this one. Okay, clear with this?
Yes, one dot. Spark will read the data as you said from the source, right? What it will do? It will keep the data in the
Data frame only. Temporarily, it stores the data in a data frame. That means
even if
indirectly, it is storing the RAM memory of your cluster.
even it's a huge data also.
Even if it is a 1 TB data, 10 TB data, irrespective of that. See, based on volume of data only, you're going to design your cluster, right? If you're dealing with huge volume of data, of course you'll be having multi-node cluster.
Okay.
If you're dealing with only 1 GB data or like a half GB data, you'll set up your cluster accordingly.
Okay.
Okay. Or we have scaling mechanism as well. Okay, you try to have like a bigger cluster, and based on the workload, actually it can scale up automatically. That mechanism also there. How we have in Snowflake, right? In the same way, we also have here in Databricks, not in Spark. In Databricks, we have that concept. Databricks like will manage that actually.
Okay.
Okay.
Shiva, if we
Mm.
have huge data, so we can handle with the Spark submit, right? In the same code.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
We can.
See, indirectly, if you're executing the commands in Databricks, means indirectly it is doing the Spark submit only. Okay. Now, after reading the data, now here, so df1 equal to df dot filter of, let's say we are filtering some records, right? So filter of something, we'll write it. Okay. And after that, df2 equal to df1 dot, let's say we are selecting only few columns here. Okay. Select of few columns. So like that, we do the transformation. And finally, what we do is, once you have your final data in your final data frame, we need to write it like this. So final df dot write dot mode means like you're going to overwrite the data, or you're going to append the data, or what you want to do. Okay, so mode also we need to use. So let's say I'm using currently append here, mode dot. Okay, so what we need to do is save. Okay, save off. If it is a CSV file, we can directly mention CSV, save of CSV. If it is a JSON file, we have to mention it as a JSON. If it is a Snowflake, we can directly mention it as a save of JSON. That's it, like that. Of course, we
Okay.
need to mention the options also. I'm going to talk about that options also here. This
One
is a
dot.
standard formula. Yeah.
Maybe you already told, but again I'm asking once again.
Uh,
Once the data file reads from the source, DF, it will store in a tabular format only, right?
Yeah, indirectly, it shows in a rows.
Yeah, rows columns format.
Rows, right? Yesterday I've shown you, right? Like rows
Yeah.
it was showing. Yeah.
So
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 it
that
stores in that way, but in the UI appearance, it shows like a table.
yeah, in you. So on top of that, we will do some SQL operations and we'll
Correct.
do this filter. I mean,
Correct.
kind of a transformations we'll do it
Correct.
using the same DF. Again,
Correct.
the same DF we are loading into the respective targets.
Correct. Whatever your target is, like based on that, we load it. See, in our project, we are loading the data into your what is this we call delta tables,
Okay. Now here,
Databricks Unity catalog.
yeah, if I want to concatenate the two, three columns, again, DF use like that, and we will do concatenation of the
For
respective
everything, we'll
commits.
use data frame operations only.
Okay. So I mean, my intention is in Informatica, we'll do different transformations for column wise. How
Uh,
the column has to commit, either
Here also we
first
can do
name,
that one.
last name.
We can do
The
the
same way we
transformations in the
can do
select
here
command.
as well.
Select command, we can do the transformations.
Okay.
Okay.
Understood.
We'll understand that one. Don't worry. So for now, my intention is actually what is the standard formula for reading the data from the files? What is the standard formula for writing the data to the targets? That's what I wanted to tell you. This
Okay.
formula I wanted to inject in your minds, first of all. And after that, we'll try to understand about the transformations, how to do that one. Maybe from next week onwards, we'll start these transformations.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Okay. So today we completely discuss about the CSV files. So once I discuss about the CSV files, the rest of the files are like very easy. Rest of the files are very easy. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll read the data from the Snowflake as well. This time I'll try to do that one. I'll create a Snowflake trial account and I'll read the data directly from the Snowflake. Not in Spark. I will do that one directly in the Databricks. Not in Spark. Not in standalone Spark, I can say. I'm not sure like my local Spark supports that one or not, but Databricks definitely support that. We did it in one of the project. I'm sure that that is supported in Databricks. Clear with this?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on now for the execution part. One second.
These two comments we need to keep it in our memory, right?
Exactly. Okay. So now what we have to do is, let me create a new worksheet here. Let me go here. Where is this? Where is this? Yeah, this is the one, right? Now new. Array. Now what we have to do is we need to create a Spark session, right? So for that, guys, Spark session I'm creating only in my local Spark. You don't need to create the Spark session in the Databricks. So in Databricks, by default, Spark session is enabled. I know still some people in my, even in my project also, some people they create actually, they write this kind of command. They simply copy paste that one from the Copilot or from the ChatGPT, as they simply mention that in one of the cell. When they come for the code review, then I used to tell them, okay, hey, you don't need to create this Spark session. They'll simply remove that commands. You don't need to create this Spark session in Databricks. The Spark session is creation is mandatory only in the local Spark, only in your system. But in Databricks, we never ever create the Spark session. Remember that point. Okay. Now let me execute this one here. So if the Spark session is already there, then it will try to get it, or if it is not there, it will try to create it. Okay. So it is creating, I guess. Yeah, it got created. Spark session got created. Now, so I wanted to read the data. Okay. So first I wanted to read the data using format command. Okay. Now tell me. So df equal to, now come on, help me with the command. You need to remember that formula. Spark dot
Read dot
Read
Read
dot
that
read dot
the
format
format
command.
of. So within double
CSV.
quotes,
path
I'm mentioning here CSV. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
dot
Uh, uh,
dot load.
dot
load.
Load.
load directly I'm using here. Okay. So load of what we need to mention within double quotes here,
Path of
Path of
path of the file, right? Okay. So
destination
for
file.
that one, I'll just try to bring up my this one here. Now what I will do is let me try to do data sets. Yeah. So CSV. Now I want to read the data from this employee file. Okay. So for that, I need to give the fully qualified path of this local path. See, just now, just for practice purpose, I'm taking the local path. But in real time, do we load the data from the local path?
No, from
No.
external source.
No.
From the external sources, like your S3 bucket, okay, or your ADLS Gen 2, or from some other
Bulk.
API, or from API, or from some remote location, you can read that data. Okay. Yeah. So see here, for local files, always you need to write like this: file colon triple slash, so that it understands that, okay, the file has to read from the local. But we never ever use this notation in the real time because we never read the data from the local. Okay. Now here, so in place of this one, we'll simply mention S3 colon or ABFSS colon, like that. Path is common, but the extension will change here. If it is a local, simply we mention file. If it is S3, simply we mention S3. If it is ADLS Gen2, we mention ABFSS colon slash slash and path we need to mention. That's it. Only this part will change. Okay. So what is my file name actually? emp.csv, right? emp.csv. This is my file actually. Okay. So it is reading the data. That is fine. So once it read the data, okay, the moment I write this command, will it really load this data into the data frame? Come on, help me. Let me execute this one. Yeah, I executed that. Now, did it really
Yes.
execute the command in the backend?
No, need to write.
What we need to write?
Collect.
Collect or show command, right?
Yes.
Show command or not? So collect is RDD operation. Show command is the data frame operation. Data frame action, I can say. Collect is a RDD action. Show is data frame action. Okay. Now let me execute this one and see what is happening here. See, it is reading the data happily. Properly, it is reading the data. Okay. But I told you already yesterday, if you don't specify anything here, path or schema, by default it takes the column name as _1 _2, right? So here in in CSV data frames, CSV or Parquet data frames, it considers _C0, C1, _C1, _C2, like that. Column 0, column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, and so on. How many number of columns are there? That many numbers will get here. Okay, I know that my first line is actually header in my file. Okay, let me open the file and show you how it looks like actually. Whether it is reading really that file or not, we'll try to understand. Okay, so this is my file. Total 16 records are there. One header is there. That is what it is trying to read, I guess. Yes. Okay, if you want to know how many records are there in this particular data frame, how do we know that one? Come on, you guys know the command.
Count.
df dot
Count.
Absolutely. That's it. You're done. Okay, so count 17 records. Even in my file also, I have 17 records only total, including header. Including header. Okay, now I know that first line is header. First line is not a proper data actually. That is not proper data. That is not data, first of all. That is the metadata of my file. Now we need to tell to my Spark, hey, first line you try to consider as a schema. First line you try to consider as a schema. That's what we need to communicate actually. So for that, what we need to do is here after format, we need to mention actually option. Option of what we need to mention is within double quotes. I'm just mentioning here. So header, okay, spelling is mistake. Okay. So header. So what we need to mention is put comma here. We need to mention in a key value format like this. Shiva, how do we know all these options? Documentation is there, guys. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to buy hard all these things. Okay, now let me go ahead and execute this one and see what is happening here. See, is it reading the data properly or not here? Along with the header, it is reading or not? Yes, it is reading properly.
Yes.
Now, what I wanted to do, I wanted to see the schema actually. What is the command we need to use to read the schema? df dot
Scheme.
print schema. This is the command we need to write it. Okay. Now, when you write the print schema, see it is reading the data. It is reading the schema like this. Now, did you observe one thing here? What did you like? Weird thing you observed here?
All are strings.
That is what I'm expecting. Okay. Okay. Now, remember one thing. When you read the data from the file, by default, Spark considers every column as string format on. That is the default behavior of this Spark API. CSV API, I can say. Okay.
Even if it reads from tables as well, it will consider as a string. or only with CSV?
Tables, it is different.
Okay.
It is little different. Okay. So we'll try to see that scenario in Snowflake case. Okay, we'll try to read the data from the for reading the data from the table, actually spark dot table of, that's it. You don't even write all these things, actually all these commands, read dot blah blah blah. You don't need to write spark dot table of the table name, that's it. We just need to create a connection, and we need to we can start writing that one, that's it. Okay. Anyway, so what we do here is we are reading the data. We are reading the data and we are reading the schema as well. In the schema, everything is string because by default it considers everything as a string only. Okay. Now, Shiva, I don't want to consider everything as a string. I wanted to consider the actual data type, how the data is there in the same format I wanted to consider. Let's say manager is number. Let's say department number is number. Our commission is number. And the e-name is string. And the employee number is also a number. So for that, what we need to do is dot option of one more option I'm trying to mention here. Okay. So for that, within double quotes, I'm just mentioning here infer schema. Okay. Comma true I'm mentioning here. That's it. That means we are telling to Spark clearly, hey, you infer the schema. You infer the schema. I don't don't consider everything as a string. You infer the schema means you go and read the data from every column from the data set and decide what kind of data type it is, and based on that you try to give me the schema data types. Okay, now if I execute this one and see what is happening here. Now see, is it like recognizing the data types properly?
Date is not recognizing, right?
Date, because of the format is not correct. By default, date format in Spark is YYY-MM-DD. Since the data is not in that format, it is not able to recognize it.
Okay.
That is the reason why if it is not recognizing, by default it considers as a string only.
Okay, understood.
Okay. Any question here? Hmm. Okay. See, Shiva, how many times we need to mention the option here? Let's say I have 10 options here. Do I need to mention, do we need to like change all these options? No, not required. Okay. So if at all, if you have multiple options, right, you can simply write with the like this, put comma here, and options we can mention, plural we can mention, multiple options we can mention. But here, remember one thing, you need to mention equal to 7 key value format. We need to mention like this here. Okay, and we don't need to have this double quotes here. Simply mention header equal to true, infer schema equal to true, like this. Now let me execute this one and see what is output. Same output as it is we are getting. Anything is changing here? See, I'm telling you the basic option previously, and after that, I was trying to talk about how we can combine all those options in a single option command. Options. If you want to mention a single option, option of we need to mention. Or if at all, if you want to mention multiple options we need to mention here. Okay.
In SQL, we use where tab name equal to tab in, like that only options.
Where tab name equal to, I didn't get you. Come again.
Where tab name equal to, instead of equal to, we are using in multiple times.
No. Those comments are different. Those comments are still there in Spark. No, that is different. This is different. See, how you wanted to read the data from your file, that you're controlling with the help of options here. That's it. Let's say sometimes you may get the data within double quotes, but I wanted to load the data without double quotes into the table. Such kind of things, metadata you're controlling here. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, so SQL commands are a bit different. I'm going to talk about that SQL command maybe from like Monday onwards, next week onwards. I'll compare everything in Spark with the SQL only. I'll write the SQL command and I'll write the equivalent Spark command to that. Okay, yeah. So for
One
now,
doubt.
forget about the SQL part. Okay, for now, you just try to understand. Um, in order to read the data from the CSV file, what are all the options we have, useful options we have? Yeah, someone is saying something.
Yeah, one doubt, sure. Bharat here.
Hmm.
Like an example, it's a huge file. In this file, I want to read only three or four columns. Is it possible to read?
No, while okay, so you cannot do at the time of loading the data. What we can do
Yeah.
is in the next data frame, you can
Yeah,
use
yeah, yeah.
select command and read the data. That is only
Okay.
the option.
Okay. So while reading, total file,
Uh,
Spark will
we,
read it.
See, even though you mention complete file here, it doesn't scan the entire file. I told you already, df dot select off, if you mention four columns. So the execution start from the bottom to top, right? So bottom is depending on the top command. That top command, what is there here? Entire file, right? From that, it will pick only, while picking only, it will pick four columns only.
Okay. But okay, yeah, understood. But you have to specify the whole file. In writing commands, it will pick the only respective columns.
That is also comes under transformation only, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good.
The transformations we'll discuss.
Okay.
So for that, we need to use the selector. That's it.
Okay.
Same concept like SQL only.
Okay, sure.
Nothing changes. Okay. Anyway, uh, um, I'm reading the data. Okay, so fine. And remember one thing here. The moment I write the infer schema, it is able to recognize the data types clearly, right? Okay. See here. Somewhere, if I mention, let's say, wrongly mentioned is some string here. Okay. So will it scan only first 10 of lines and can it decide is it a integer column? It is integer column. Let's say wrongly mentioned here something string. Okay. So when I say infer schema equal to true, let's say it is scanning only first 10 lines of the data and deciding it as a integer. Does it make sense?
No.
No. So remember one thing. The moment you mention infer schema equal to true, it will scan the entire data from each and every column. Entire data, because we are not sure somewhere something string got mentioned here. If somewhere something got string got mentioned, so this employee number also it will consider as string only. It cannot consider as a integer. Integers can be fit in strings, but strings cannot fit in numbers. Numbers are integers, correct?
Hmm.
That is the reason why it has to scan the entire data for that column. Let's say employee number, it is deciding integer, so it has to scan every record. So infer schema option is bad for use files because it has to scan the entire file, right? All the records, right? So never ever use this option for the use files. Use this option only for the I can say small files. 5 GB, 10 GB, that is okay. But if you're handling TBs of data, don't do that. Clear? But see, how do we mention that one? The data types. We have custom schema approach, right? Yesterday we understood, right? Already structure type of structure field of that field name, comma, data type, comma, true or false we were mentioning, right? Nullable true or false. Same way you can mention. And you can attach the schema here. I'll tell you how to attach that schema here.
Or
You
else
can
we
override that schema, existing schema, no problem with that.
Master, or else we can also mention the schema, then
No, yeah, I'll show you that option.
okay.
I'll show you that option. Okay, clear with this? See, nothing. the only part that we need to do hard work here is you need to understand about the options. That's it. See, hardly max to max like 5 to 6 or like max 7 to 8 options are there which we use regularly. At least try to understand those options. The two options we already understood. Remaining options I'll show you.
If any option misses, it will throw error.
No. Without options also it can read the data, right? But
Yeah.
see, it can read the data, right? If I execute this one and see it is reading the data. But what is your expectation here?
Okay.
Your
Header.
expectation is like like first line, it has to consider as a schema, right?
Yeah.
That you're communicating additionally here. That's it.
If employee number as a string, it will consider as a string. Anywhere, one place.
I didn't get you. Come again.
Employee number
Uh.
infra schema equal to true, right?
Yeah, correct.
If anywhere employee number somewhere instead of integer there is a string.
Okay. So in some row, by mistake, let's say I considered it as a okay, let me show you that one. Just for your understanding purpose. Let's say intentionally I'm giving like this. Can I mention like this? Can I?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm saving this one. 8001. Just remember the number. Okay. You can give any number anyway, no problem with that. So yeah, I'm reading the data from the same file here. Now see how it is considering this one. Did you get my point?
Yeah, it will consider string.
String only. It has to consider string only, right? Because even if out of 100 rows, actually 99 records are number, one record is like string, then ultimately it has to consider string only.
That is a default one.
It's not because of the default one. See, numbers you can fit or numbers you can like load into string, but strings you cannot load. See, if it is, let's say it is considering as a integer. Okay, so your target table data type is also integer. What do you think generally? You don't know like Siva is there here. And if you are trying to write the data, this string, can you write into number column
No.
while writing it? No, not possible. That is the reason why it is by default considering as a string here. Because of this one. Because of this one. Convinced?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Okay. So infer schema option is bad for huge files case. Don't use that option for the for those files because it has to scan the entire file for identifying the data type. Okay. Okay. By default, CSV file maintains the delimiter is what?
Comma.
A comma, right? So what if I have control F or control H, comma, I'll just try to replace with the pipe symbol. Okay. I'm simply using the pipe symbol here. I replace all. Okay. I'm just trying to read the data from this file again. Same options only I'll try to use, but simply execute this one. Control enter. So what happened here? Is it reading the data properly? And that too, did you observe one thing here? It is showing, it's not showing the complete data here. It is showing hardly how many characters here. Can you check that? So if I open a new one here, see how many characters are there?
21.
21, right? Of course, you remove this space here. Then how many characters it is showing here? 20 only, right? See, show command by default, it shows the 20 characters only in a single line. Okay, because show command is truncating this data, not physically.
Understood.
Logically, it is just truncating, that's it. So what we need to use, we need to write the command truncate equal to false. This is the option we need to write it. Then it will show everything here. This is just a show command option I'm trying to talk here. Okay, and that too, show command by default, it will show 20 records only by default. If at all, if you want to display more than 20 records, you can directly mention that number. Show command takes two inputs. One is number of records that it has to display, and like if any of this string is more than 20 characters, you wanted to display that entire string, or only you wanted to truncate that string. Not physically, guys. Physically, it doesn't truncate. Just in the UI, it shows like that. That's it.
Why then, if that is the case, it comma if user, right? Why it is displaying full length? More than 20 characters will be there, right?
See, in this file, by default, since you did not mention any delimiter here, by default it is considering what?
Comma.
Comma. So do you have any comma here in this file? No, it is keep on identifying that comma. Since it is not there, say considering this as a single column.
Okay.
This is single column value. This is single column value. Like that it is considering. I know this is not meaningful actually, but we need to give the proper, we need to convey it properly. So for
Understood.
that, what we need to mention is delimiter equal to, within single quotes, I'll simply mention here, pipe symbol. That's it. Just execute this one. See, it is reading the data properly now.
Master, it will be if you, I mean, the 100, right? That comment.
Uh,
Will it show the 100 records or 50 records? Because
Character.
just try it, the
100 records, not characters.
that's what 100 records. I
100
tried.
records of this.
Mhm.
This is first record, second record, third record,
This one.
fifth record. Okay, let's say I'm giving only 5 records here and see how it is displaying. First 5 records it is displaying or not. Let's say you're giving only 7 records here. Okay, I'm giving only 7 records here. It is giving only 7 records.
More than 100, it cannot.
More than 100 also it can display. You can give 1000 also, no problem here. 10,000 also. See, but we don't use that like huge numbers, right? See, ultimately, whether while performing the transformations, actually, you will see you don't need to query all the records whether the transformations are applied properly or not. Just fetch couple of records or 10 records or 20 records or 50 records or 100 records and observe that whether the transformations are applied properly or not. Ultimately, why do we use show command? While writing these commands, whether the previous transformation correctly applied or not, we have to understand, right? It's a kind of print command only, right?
Actually, when we are debugging our script in the small, so
Yeah,
that it was not
yeah,
shown.
correct,
So that's the reason I'm
correct.
asking.
But in Databricks, we don't use show command mostly. Mostly, we will use the display command. Display is the more advanced than like show command. Okay, but display is not supported here. If you write this command display, let's say I'm not giving anything here. Execute this one. See, it is throwing error. Data frame object has no attribute display. Okay. df.display also we can write, or display of df also we can write. Anything is okay. We write both in our coding. Display of df also we can write it. Okay. Now df dot display of df also we can write, or df dot display also we can write. Both works actually in real time. So execute this one. Hey, display is working. Working, not working. Not working.
Only
But
schema is shown.
only schema it is displaying, but it's not giving in a proper way, right? This is not our intention, right? It's working, but it's not working in expected way. Okay, we'll see this option, display option in Databricks properly.
Why count not working here?
Count, I'm not sure really. print of file, right? Oh, because a display command I used right here, it is overwriting that actually. Okay, so if you want to really print that, then just use the print of that. Execute this. See, print also. Now 16 also we got right here.
If I don't want to overwrite, then we have to keep the display below the count, right?
Yeah, you can put that.
Mhm.
You can put that. Okay, so
That
let
time
me
print schema will overwrite maybe.
let's check. Anyway, we don't use that one, right? Don't worry about that. Too much about that. Okay, it is overwriting that one also. Oh, that's okay, no problem. Okay, so we'll use the proper display command in the Databricks. I don't want to confuse you guys at this point of time. Okay. So that is about the spark.read.format of options command. So I told you another approach also, right? We can use one more API to read the data from the CSV. So that also I'm going to talk here. So df equal to spark dot. See guys, this approach and the one that I'm going to discuss both are same one. There is no performance difference. There is no um like the UI like handling difference. Okay, both are same only. Okay, so Spark dot read dot CSV of directly CSV is a CSV API is available here. Okay, so we need to mention the path here. So what is that path? The path is actually this one. I can directly mention that here. Okay, now if you want to display the data, so df dot show command I'm writing here, execute this one and see, because we did not mention anything right here, delimiter, that is the reason it is throwing error. Okay, now if I try to write the same option directly here, I know it will throw error, but I wanted to show you here. So generally people think that whatever the parameters we are using here, same thing is applicable here. No. Okay, so we don't have delimiter here. So for that, if at all, if you want to understand, if at all, if you want to understand something related to that, we need to refer the documentation. I think where did I mention that one? Where I'm executing all these commands? Okay, so it's open separately now. Okay, one second, one second. Yeah. So this is the one I'm supposed to execute here, but that's okay. Yeah. So these are all the options I was trying to say. Data frame reader dot CSV of, that means spark dot read dot CSV of. Path we need to mention. Schema, if at all, if you want to pass, you can pass that one. Here, what is this SCP? Separator. Okay. So in place of delimiter, we need to mention separator here. Okay. So that option I'm going to use here. Where did I? Yeah, this is the one I'm writing here. I'll just bring that one to the. One second. Oh, I'm executing in the same browser. Okay. So where is this? This. Yeah. This is the one, right? I'll just put it aside. Now what I need to do is, in place of delimiter, we just need to use the separator here. Okay, let me execute this one. See, separator is pipe symbol. That is the reason it is recognizing that. Now, if you want to convey that header, it has to consider as the first line. So we simply need to mention header equal to true. We need to mention here. Now let me execute this one. It is throwing error here. True is not. Oh, Boolean, right? So capital T. Sorry. Capital T we need to mention here. Okay. So just execute this one. See, it is taking the data properly.
Okay.
Clear? Now we'll try to understand these some of the options that we use frequently in real time. Okay. Now tell me, encoding generally sometimes what happens, you will get from the source file special characters like Chinese characters or some symbols are there. Okay, bug symbol is there. So that kind of symbols actually you'll get from the source file. So by default, encoding actually takes the UTF-8, I guess. Okay, I'll show you all these options. Actually, they explained here only in the documentation only. If you want to understand more about that one, you can click on this link. I opened this in a new tab. Okay, so what is that we are trying to understand here? Encode, right? Encoding by default it is UTF-8. So if at all, if you want to override that UTF-8 one, UTF-16 or UTF-32 or base 64, some character sets are there, right? So if you want to mention that one, you can mention it happily here, no problem at all. So that is also one of the option. I mean, sometimes we use it, not regularly. Sometimes we use it. Where is that? Yeah, this is the one. Yeah. Sometimes we use that option, encoding equal to UTF-16 or like that. Even in Snowflake also, we have seen this kind of option, right? Encoding option. Did we
Don't
see it or
remember.
not?
Don't remember, sure.
We have seen that encoding option. Okay. Anyway, next quote. Let's say I have a sample file actually. Let me try to open that one. With quotes. Yeah, this is the one. Let's see, you're getting the data like this. We have faced this issue real time, guys, actually. Now, let's say you're getting the data. I have three columns: ID, name, salary. So one, John, this is the first name, this is the last name. Both I'm getting in a single quotes, and the separator is comma for both. Okay, as per your understanding, let's consider the by default delimiter is comma only. Okay, so this one it will treat as one record. This one it will treat as a second record. This one it will sorry, this one it will treat as a third column. This is first column, second column value, third column value. It will simply ignore this one, 50K. But if you want to read this data as is, like let's say the name, I have to read this entire string. Then how do you manage that? So for that, we have an option called quote. Okay, anything coming into that quotes considered as a single string. That's what the meaning of that one. Okay, if you want, I can show you here. Quote. See, by default, quote is actually double quotes. That is the reason why even if you get the data directly in the CSV file with the double quotes, while reading the data into the data frame, it reads without double quotes only. That is what even we are getting in our project. We read the data directly from the JSON files. The JSON files, the value is actually surrounded by double quotes. So we are using that quote option. We are not using that quote option by default. The double quotes it is taking as a code characters, right? Okay, in one file actually, we were generating CSV file. There actually we have values similar to this one. There we are handling that using quote option.
Inside quote, they are ignoring comma, right?
Comma, exactly. See, initially when source was sending the data, so they were not sending the data within single quotes. Okay, they're simply sending the data with comma, and we were facing issue in real time. Then we told them clearly, hey, if at all, if you're sending this as a single column value, okay, then you have to surround that data with the double quotes or single quotes. Then only we'll accept that. Otherwise, we don't accept this data. That's what we mentioned to them. They started sending the data in double quotes. Then we put like, while reading the data, we put like spark.read.csv of that path we are mentioning dynamically. And after that, quote equal to double quotes we are mentioning. Single quotes we are mentioning, sorry.
Try to load this file, sure.
Sorry?
Try to load this file.
This one, okay, yeah, let me do that. So employee quotes, right? So let's try to read that one. Okay, so I'm removing this one. I'm anyway giving, by default it is with comma, but still I'm giving, since we have that option here. Okay, so employee, emp underscore quotes or employee underscore quotes. What is
Employee
that file name?
underscore
Emp underscore quotes. Okay, so underscore quotes. Okay, this is what I'm just trying to read here. Just execute this one and see how it is reading the data.
Okay.
This is what the problem actually we are really facing in.
Okay. Now
If
add
source
quote.
team does not make these changes? How we can?
We cannot do anything. They have to do that. So before that one, we have to do pre-processing in that case.
That is a lengthy process.
Maximum they'll be having that control. Definitely. 99% of the cases they'll send the data. They have to send the data in this way only.
If 1%, then we can't.
1%, then we have to pre-process that.
Shiva, if we give comma quote equal to single quotes in the options, then we can get it
Yeah, that it is going to read the data properly in that case.
properly.
So comma. So we mention quote equal to within double quotes we can mention single quote. Okay, because otherwise it will ignore that. So okay. So within double quotes I'm mentioning single quote. Then if you read the data, then see how it is reading the data.
Yeah. So if a single quotes also we cannot. Okay, within the double quotes we can.
See, you'll get confusion right here.
Yeah.
Okay, if I remove this one, if I try to execute this one, now see it is throwing error here. Line 2, you have some issue. So that is the reason why if you are using double quotes as a delimiter, quote character, within single quotes you try to mention double quote. Opposite way. Okay, if you want to highlight here like single quote, then put that one in double quotes.
Shiva, write schema as well. df.schema.
df.schema, you want me to add okay, you want me to print it,
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that one. So df dot print schema. So let me
I want
execute
to
this.
see.
String only. Infer schema we did not put it, right? Now see what is the equivalent command for that one here. Now come on, help me read all the options and tell me which option or which property will be helpful for me.
Data format. No.
No. Direct option is
The
available.
format is none.
No, directly option is available. Option is in front of you only. Infer schema only, right?
Same.
Yeah, infer schema is there.
Yeah, infer schema is there. That's what I'm telling. Infer schema equal to either true or false we need to mention. If you want to know more about that one, see infer schema, by default it is false. So infers the input schema automatically from the data. So it requires one extra pass over the data. One pass over means it has to go and scan that. CSV built-in functions ignore this option. Yes, by default. It's a read operation actually. While writing actually we cannot do anything. While writing we cannot do infer schema. While reading only we can do that. So let me go and use that option. Put comma here and use that infer schema equal to true option here. Okay, execute this one and see it is how it is treating that one integer string integer. Clear?
Yeah. No, comma is there, so just I'm thinking how it will take it. That's it. String. Okay.
Okay. Now what else will be useful for you? Date format, by default date format. See, sometimes actually by default date format is actually YYYMMDD. I'm going to talk about that one also here. See, this is what they are saying. By default, if you have in CSV, it is there in this format, then it will recognize this as a date format. If you have slashes and all, something like that, then it will by default treat as a string only. So sets this string that indicates a date format. So custom date format follows the formats as date time patterns. So if at all, if you want to set that one date format, like from the source itself, you're getting, let's say dd/mm/yyyy, right? Then you modify the option here. So you mention date format equal to yyyy, sorry, dd/mm/yyyy, like that you can mention. So date formats, anyway, I'm going to discuss in a separate class. Timestamp format also you can mention.
What do you mean by local A?
Where is that local?
That one. Next to empty value. Bring down from third line, bottom to third line.
Multi-line equal to none. Local A equal to none. I'm not sure really. Let me check that.
No. The word is
Local A.
different first time, local A.
local English US, I think it will local language English it will consider by default.
Okay.
In last column, there is a read/write. What is that mean actually?
So this option we can use in read operation and write operation as well. Line separator, if at all, if you see you're reading the data with the comma separator, you're writing the data, you wanted to write the data with the pipe delimiter, then we can use this option actually, line separator. See, not line separator is slash and carries written characters. Let's say if you take this one, separator also you'll be having definitely read and write only. While writing actually, if at all, if you want to write with the pipe delimiter, then you can write it happily, no problem. You can use this option. Separator delimiter also works, huh? I don't think so. It was working. Let me check that one. Just a second. Okay. I'm just checking here. It's not working, right? I don't know. Why did they give that?
Even whatever you are showing, this is Spark command, right?
Spark only. This is Spark documentation only. Spark.apache.org.
Okay. No, you said you were comparing something, so I missed that point.
I'm comparing the previous this command and this command. That's it. This API and this API. See, mostly you can use any of the option, guys. No problem at all. Anything is
Both are
okay.
APIs.
Use whatever you want. Okay. Yeah. So those are some of the options. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about the other options. Some of the other options. Then after we'll get on to Parquet file format.
Shiva, custom options, custom infra.
No, you cannot
data.
use custom options here. Existing APIs only you have to use. That's it. Whatever you have here, you have to. Then if that is the case, you write a custom function and try to use that one. That's it.
No, as you said, infra schema.
Infra schema.
We need to use custom, right? Instead of 13 infra schema.
Oh, custom schema. Okay. I got it. What you're saying. Okay, so let me give you that command. Yesterday, whatever we have seen, right? Spark dot this is the one actually. So if at all if you want to overwrite that schema, right? So what we can do is we can just mention that one. Okay. Let's say I'm just trying to mention that one before this data frame. Now let's say first one is what is this file name? Employee CSV only. Okay. So what I will do is you wanted to read here or here? Okay, I'll put here. Okay, now hit enter here. In place of employee codes, I'll just try to read the employee .csv. Now, see first column I know. Let me comment this one first. Okay, let me run this. What is wrong here?
How to commit all lines? Control.
Control / forward slash. Something is a delimiter. Okay, delimiter we need to change it to separator, right? Now let me execute this. Now see, we are reading separator. We need to change it to pipe delimiter here. Okay, now execute this. Now see, we are reading. Okay, so now I don't want to take this schema like this. I wanted to take this schema like this. So in order to uncomment that one, same keys, control / Okay, so here I don't want to take this schema like this. I wanted to take the data like this. Employee name I don't want to take like this. I want to take like this. Gender I wanted to consider as a sex. Job I wanted to consider job only. Manager full name I wanted to use. Hire date underscore I wanted to use. Salary full name I wanted to use. Commission I wanted to as this. Department number underscore I wanted to use. So I am creating the schema and I am like attaching that one to my API. So schema equal to schema only. Okay, because I'm assigning this one to or you can mention cust underscore schema, right? So schema equal to custom schema we need to mention here. Equal to custom schema. Okay. Then if you try to read this one, then see what is happening here. See how it is reading the data. Custom schema is attached or not here. It will override the default schema that it is trying to read. Now see, integer string employee number, we are getting like this or not.
If we use custom schema, do we need to mention infer schema as well?
Not required. Not required in that case. Good question. Not required in that case. Now see, I'm reading the data properly.
So in documentation, it says it will infer schema is only to read, right?
Where is that? Infer schema is only for reading while reading the data. Yes.
Yeah, so when you did custom, what is it,
Uh-huh.
custom schema, then resultant output will be what we can say,
Schema that I mentioned.
those changes will be seen in the CSV file as well.
Yeah. You're going to write that data. Okay, let's say what you want me to do is let me do one thing here. Okay, after printing the schema, I wanted to write it actually df dot. So write dot mode of. So within double quotes, I'm just mentioning here append. Okay, dot save of. Okay, I need to mention my path here. So for that, I'll just try to create in data sets only. I'll just create one folder called output. Okay, now I'll try to give this path here. Okay. Okay, so what is the file name that you wanted to take here? Okay, let's not give the file name. Let's see.
Target TMP.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, now one second. File colon ///. We need to mention that in a double quotes here. Okay, now let me execute this one. See, it got executed. Okay, now it has written the data. Let me go and check here. Refresh this. Hey, why didn't we get that one? So let me do one thing. Let me comment this. Okay, so something, I mean, it executed up to this one only, and it since it has we have show command, right? It did not execute the next line. Now we are getting issue. What is that? While saving the data, actually we are getting issue. You can write the data actually into local native IO Windows. We can write it actually. Let me check that. Let me check that just a second. We can mention that. Okay, write dot options of, we can mention like this also, right? Okay, let me use this option. You can use this option also. I'm not sure why it is not working at this point of time. Now let's say I'm trying to write the data like this. For the option of header equal to true, with header I wanted to write the data. So I can use my local path only here. Copy this. Maybe I have to write up to here. Okay. Unload.csv. Now let me execute this. What happened here? Something is happening here. You can write the data actually. It works definitely. One second. Unsatisfied link error. What is that meaning actually? We can be able to write it. That is what I'm trying to show here. Mode of override save of that file path we need to mention. That is what I'm trying to do. Oh, One second. Let's use actually Perplexity. The correct syntax is the same thing we are doing, right? Under true option CSV file colon. Oh, forward slashes it is taking a same only, right? This is what even we are also doing previously. Okay, let's see. Let's try with the forward slashes. I don't think so that is the issue, but we'll still use that one. We'll give a try. No, that is not the issue actually. Okay, I'll see why it is not working. Maybe something issue from in my Spark software only. I'll check that one. Okay, so even in your previous batch also it was working fine. I'm not sure now why it is not working. I'll check that one tomorrow and let you know. Okay. So you can write the data with custom schema. Let's say you're reading the data with the normal schema, and while writing, actually, if at all, if you want to attach the schema to this one, you can attach it. So schema option we have. Where is the schema option? Only schema. Only schema. Only schema. Only schema. Only schema. Where is this option? I don't think so. We have that. Maybe directly that is not available, but we can attach that. Schema is there, right? That's the second option only. Maybe they did not give that one here. Okay, so schema we can use while reading and while writing also. In both the cases we can use that. Anyway, I'll show you that one tomorrow. No worries. Okay, any question so far? Looks easy compared to the RDDs?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.